welcome to the October edition of Suite 301. Come to you live from Pittsburgh, PA. We're here to talk about all the news and updates from around Colt Club Sports.
Yes, and you can watch all of our broadcasts on our Suite 301 page and on our Facebook pages and on YouTube.
All right. Well, Jimmy, welcome to the set. I'm Sandy Sanderson.
Thank you.
And hey, October, fall, think Halloween, you think football. Let's dive right into some NCFA football updates. What do you say?
That's what's up first.
All right. Sounds good. How's your WVU team going, by the way?
Better than expected, but I wouldn't call it good.
Okay. It's going to keep your coach around a little longer, isn't
Right.
it? That's
Yes.
the problem. Huh?
Yep, that is the
All
problem.
right. Well, let's dive into some NCFA updates, and let's welcome to the set Dave Mogensen, Director of Football Operations.
What's up, Sandy?
Dave, how you doing?
Good. Can you guys hear me? Am I good?
You sound
Yes.
terrific.
Awesome. Perfect.
I see you got your Barnstormers pennant behind you.
I'm in my office right now,
Beautiful.
downtown Des Moines, Iowa. So we're in the office here.
Excellent. Well, let's get right to it. We released a new power rankings today, the second one of the season. Why don't you take us through it?
Yeah, big time change. So we've had some fluctuation. In past years, we've had a lot of people cruise through one or two all season, but Gordon State was number one after coming back from winning the national championship, and they took a loss 2 weeks ago to Central Georgia Tech, so they kind of tumbled a little bit. And this week last week we had a new number one in Ohio State, but that only lasted a week. Ohio State was off. Michigan State had another dominating win, beating Milwaukee 47-0, and they are number one for the first time in school history in a power ranking. And then the other one, the team that beat Gordon State, Central Georgia Tech, just keeps kind of inching up there. They received a couple of first place votes. That anytime you beat a national champion, you got a pretty good team going. So there's a lot of teams in the mix. We got Michigan State, Ohio State, Central Georgia Tech, George Mason, Sacred Heart, all undefeated at this point. And it's going to make for a good, wild kind of end to the season here.
Absolutely. You would, the way things are going, nothing's set yet, but you'd expect. It looks like Michigan State and Ohio State will probably meet up in the Great Lakes Championship, but I mean, Toledo has a little bit of something to say to that. They could knock off Ohio State later in the year too, and maybe take that spot in the Great Lakes Championship. Columbus State has the opportunity to play spoiler if they can knock off Central Georgia Tech and basically kind of create a three-way logjam for that first spot in the South Atlantic Conference, with of course the top two getting into the conference championship game. And then it kind of is looking like Sacred Heart and George Mason are the top dogs in the North Atlantic, but Coppin State may have something else to add to that mix too. So we'll see. That's why we play the games, right?
That's right.
All right. Well, talk to us. Any season updates? What have you seen so far, and what are your opinions on how things are matching up?
It's exciting to have as many teams as we do in the mix right now. All these undefeated teams is exciting for us to have. We haven't had that in previous years. We've had two or three teams that we looked like we're going to be the best. So right now, I think there's probably 7 teams that really are in the mix that think, hey, I might be the best team in the league. The 5 undefeated teams, as well as Toledo with their 1 loss, and Gordon State obviously with 1 loss. So it's been an exciting start to the season. Week 5 was a little bit quiet. We didn't have a lot of games last week, just a few games. But week 6, a big game in South Atlantic, Central Georgia Tech travels to Columbus State. So you talk about Columbus State being a spoiler. This is the game they got to win. If they can beat Central Georgia Tech this weekend, that creates this huge logjam of 3 one-loss conference teams in the South Atlantic. So that's a big game. And then, Toledo is kind of circled that Ohio State game, so they got to keep winning. They did drop that non-conference game, but if they can keep winning, they can try to knock off Ohio State and sneak into the conference title game. But it is looking like Ohio State and Michigan State are on a collision course for a rematch of last year's Great Lakes Conference Championship game. And then, right now, Coppin's struggling a little bit in the North Atlantic, so it is definitely a 2-horse race with George Mason and Sacred Heart. My guess is they'll probably play twice this year. They'll most likely, they'll obviously play their conference game, and then they'll most likely face each other again in the conference championship. So should be some really exciting battles to see who wins the conference and then who is left over for that 4th wildcard spot.
And this weekend coming up, the attention's on Columbus State and Central Georgia Tech, correct?
Oh, without a doubt. That's the game everybody's got circled. That's if Columbus State can win, that'll really upset the apple cart and make these power rankings look very different.
Absolutely, and I believe with a win, Central Georgia Tech will at least clinch themselves at least the number 2 spot in the South Atlantic, and thus a playoff, a spot in the conference championship game.
Conference championship spot, yeah, for sure, definitely.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? I believe we have a guest caller lined up. Speaking of Central Georgia Tech, let's welcome Terry Kendrick.
Hey, how everybody doing?
Good, Terry. Congratulations on a successful season thus far.
Thank you.
How's the morale feeling down there at Central Georgia Tech? Big win over the defending national champions. What do you attribute it to, being able to knock off that top dog a couple weeks ago?
I think just hard work and dedication. Our guys, we kind of followed the mold that Gordon built, and watching them over the last couple of years and what they built and how they done it, and we kind of molded ourselves after them. And we came in and our guys worked hard, and we went up first. They went up right before half, and they was at the half at 15-7. And I was like, oh man, adversity's coming, guys. What are y'all gonna do? And all of a sudden, our guys answered last, and we kind of pulled the game off. So that's kind of what happened. It wasn't, it was a game that both of us. It was the first time for either one of us to be down all year. So they came out and they were down first, and then they made their run, and then we kind of came in and did our run. So.
Now, with being so close to clinching a potential playoff spot here, how do you keep the team focused and not looking ahead to anything?
Right now, our motto all year has been 0-0. Right now, we're 0-0. We don't care what happened last week. That's over with. Every week we start off with a 0-0 count. We're just trying to be the best team that week, 7 seconds at a time, and at the end of the day, whoever wins the most 7 seconds win the game.
Absolutely.
Dave, any pressing questions on your end over there?
Yeah, just Coach, you got a big game this weekend with going down to Columbus State. Tell us a little bit about what you think of the Columbus State program and how that game, is going to be tough to win in your head.
It's a good thing though. Going back to my time at Middle Georgia, I've never lost to Columbus State, and I don't want this to be the first time. So we respect their program. Coach Spade has been in this league a long time, and he kind of spearheads a lot of the stuff that goes on in the South Atlantic Conference, and just looking for him, he's tough. He's going to be a tough guy to, always at home. Columbus is always tough at home to beat.
Absolutely. We know that venue down there, their fans will come out, fill that bowl over there in the South Commons Sports Complex area. We're very familiar with their venue there, so it should be an exciting atmosphere this weekend. We wish you the best of luck. Now, what's it feel like in your mind? You control your own destiny the rest of the way, right? If you just throw up W's the rest of the way, you don't need anybody's help. Just W's the rest of the way. You're going to hold a trophy above your head at the end of the year. What's that feeling like, knowing that you control your own destiny?
For me, just being able to even have that opportunity to be where we are is in such a short period of time is amazing. And just being a part of those championship teams down at Middle Georgia some years ago have prepared me in order to how we stayed calm and how we did what we needed to do in the season and not get focused on the end task, but on a weekly task, week to week. Focus hard at practice and do what we got to do. That right there has us in the right direction of moving our team forward.
Now, Coach, you mentioned Central Georgia Tech coming a long way in a short period of time. The NCFA, you're right. You're a new program to us, a relatively new program to us. Give us a little introduction to some of your team, like who stirs the drink on offense for your team.
Okay, so for the most part, our team, man, we have our linebacker, our defense is our key. The defense to what we have is our key. We have some outstanding linebacker core. Brendan Barley, number 6, which everybody the coach from Gordon State, the offensive line coach, said he kept him up at night. And our Mike linebacker, Ryan Cotton, we call him Gotti. And, and we have a safety that's over the top, that's Caleb Harvey. On the offensive side, we have basically two great quarterbacks. Matter of fact, we benched our starting quarterback at halftime of the Gordon game and put the backup in, and he kind of led us through because the starting quarterback was shook a little bit. I think the game had got too big for him too fast, and he was nervous, and so we just had to make a change. And the Wiley veteran stepped in and did what he needed to do.
Well, that's good coaching right there, Coach. Being able to have the temperature of your team, know the temperature of your players, and be able to make those halftime adjustments to do what's best for the program to keep on the winning track. So, congratulations to you, Dave. Anything else before we say goodbye to Coach Kendrick?
No, I just congratulations on a great start to the season. I don't think a lot of people had pegged you guys as being the powerhouse already in just your second year of existence. So kudos to what you started, but I know you guys have greater aspirations. So you have a ways to go before you're holding that NCFA championship trophy over your head, but I'm sure you guys are on the path that you thought you would be on.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. We just appreciate the opportunity, man. Wouldn't be able to do it without my coaching staff giving up all their time away from their families and just coming in and doing what we need to do here, man. I appreciate you guys for allowing us the opportunity to join the league and do what we have to do.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time out of your day, Coach, and joining us. Good luck this weekend against Columbus State.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
All righty. That was Coach Kendrick from Central Georgia Tech, the number 3 ranked team in the country as of today. Dave, before we sign off on the football side of things, any other items to discuss on your end?
Not really. I think I'm expecting to have our national championship game announcement here probably next week, if everything goes correctly this week. Have that announcement for where the game's going to be played. But other than that, we're just kind of in crunch time here. Probably by the next Sweet 301, we'll start talking about All-American process and that kind of stuff. But right now, it's just crunch time and trying to see who qualifies for these conference championship games and go from there.
All right, sounds good. Well, I appreciate it, Dave. Good luck back with the Barnstormers in your office, and we'll be in touch soon. Thanks for tuning in today.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, Dave Mogensen, Director of Football Operations, keeping it locked down in the NCFA. All right.
We should have asked him how long it took to grow that beard.
Hey, any questions on the table, man? You're thinking
it. It just got up
This
there.
guy's known in the office for having really good ideas that he sits on and then doesn't bring them to the table.
Another perfect example right there.
Exactly. That would have been a great question. All right, good stuff. All right, so that's the NCFA wrap-up for this show. Let's move on to some NCBA baseball. We know that's right up your alley, but we also welcome to the set Eric Curator, VP of Baseball Ops. Good, Eric. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. It's been a good show so far. Can't wait to disappoint you guys.
Yeah.
You're good at that.
Oh, there it is. Starting early. All right, so NCBA. There we go.
Straight out of PA.
All right, what are we talking about today, guys?
Well, first up, looks like we have a fall tournament recap plus a preview of the other two that we still have yet to have happen.
Yeah, so let's get them going. Let's see what the first screen there is recapping. Battle Creek Blast, 9th annual. Shout out to the University of Illinois. They had a phenomenal tournament. I was there. I got to see them play. Great team. This comes off a year prior where they actually got mercied in the championship game by Notre Dame. So they came back the next year and won it. So hats off to those guys. The 4 finalists were Miami, Ohio, Illinois, Michigan State, and Western Michigan. Illinois topped Western Michigan in the final game 7-5. Great game. We had some great weather. Great event. Just to round out the other teams, we had Kent State, Illinois State, both Indiana teams, D1 and D2, Eastern Michigan, Cleveland State, Michigan Flint, and Western. So it was a great 12-team event. And again, congrats to Illinois. You guys are actually doing really well in conference play too, so even more kudos to you guys. I believe you're 4-2 up there in the Great Lakes West. So keep that momentum going. Moving on to Charleston. Jimmy, the director of the tournament. Why don't you take the lead here?
That's me. So 3rd annual Charleston Fall Invitational. James Madison Division I came away with the championship there. In the semifinals, we had James Madison over Maryland Division II and California PA over, I'm drawing a blank, California PA over Bloomsburg.
There
yes.
it is, 8-2.
And even though, Maryland didn't have the showing they wanted in the semifinal game versus James Madison, I wanted to give them some credit. As they came out on Friday, they had a little bit of a hiccup getting to the facility due to traffic. There was a wreck on the interstate, so they show up a little bit late, just kind of scrambling a little bit, get blown out their first game. They fight their way back through pool play to make it to Sunday, so I wanted to give them a shout-out as well. But back to James Madison, the champions. They look good all weekend. I believe we're going to have a guest caller here in a couple minutes that we'll talk to a little more about it. But they look good all weekend. They had one game versus Cal U where it was just one of those scrappy games, both teams kind of struggling to get anything going, but they found a way to come out on top there.
Yeah, and just looking at your field, you had a nice little some diversity, I guess is the best way to put it. Some D1, some D2 teams. Bloomsburg, D2 team. Cal PA, D2 team. Maryland, like you mentioned. So you had 3 out of your 4 finalists were D2 teams. That's impressive.
Yeah, someone else I should give some credit to is Bloomsburg. They were proud to make it to Sunday, and as they should have been, they hit the ball well all weekend, and they're excited to see what they can do this season. And yeah, only an 8-team event this year, but we do want to grow this back to 16 teams. We have 4 fully turf fields down there. Just a really good venue that the teams seem to enjoy.
Well, fantastic. All right. Well, James Madison's our winners. Let's go ahead and get Connor on the line here.
Yes, I'm here.
There he is. Hey, Connor. This is Eric with the NCBA. Sandy and Jimmy. How we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. Hey, first and foremost, congrats on a fantastic weekend. Let's just kick it off right there. Talk to us about it. You guys ended up winning the thing, but
yeah.
What was kind of your guys' mindset? I like asking this question in fall tournaments. What was your mindset going into the tournament? Was to get guys, reps? Was it, hey, we're coming here to win? How did you guys approach it?
Yeah, thank you so much again. Yeah, we knew we wanted to get our guys into a tournament atmosphere. We made the playoffs a couple years ago. It was my sophomore year. And as of right now, we only have 3 guys who were on that team. So we needed, some time to actually get into a semifinal. Where you're playing for something. You're playing for a trophy, things like that. So our mindset was going, Cal PA is a great team. They won the past few years. Very good teams last year. I believe they beat Miami of Ohio, who made the playoffs this past year. We did a hit. We have a ton of new guys, and they really showed out. It was a good tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And going off that Cal U game, like you said, credit to them. They're always a great team, and that's a good win, no matter who it is, against those guys. And like I mentioned, when I'm running the tournament, I don't get to just sit down and watch the game. But from what I did gather, it was just a scrappy game. So what can you speak to just to the mindset that you guys, the attitude that the team puts forth in those type of games when every at bat and every pitch is just a grind, and you just got to find a way to win?
Yeah, so they've beaten a couple D1 teams already this season. I believe they beat Pittsburgh and Slippery Rock. So we knew they were going to be tough. We knew they were going to battle. I pitched actually that pool play game against them. They were struggling to hit off me a little bit. But they were battling. They wouldn't strike out. They were putting balls in play. I was getting weak contact. I knew I had my defense behind me, and they were playing well. We only made 1 error on the weekend, which was amazing. In 5 games, only having 1 error is incredible, no matter what kind of surface you're on. They battled the whole way through, and we just kept telling our guys in the dugout, keep having at bats, keep fighting. Something's going to drop. Something's going to happen. And it did, and we came out on top.
Now, Connor, introduce me to the Dukes program a little bit. Like, who are the guys on your roster that you're looking for big impact for as we head into spring conference play?
Yeah, so we have our reliever Jared Smith. He's a senior. He's actually our treasurer this year. He's a little sidearm guy. He can bring it over the top, low to mid 80s. And he's got some nasty stuff. He gets a ton of swing and misses. I believe he led the team in strikeouts the past 2 years. So we're lucky to have him back. Our shortstop, Eli Coley, he's a big-time bat. He's big-time in the field. I've only seen him make like 2 or 3 errors in my time here, which is incredible. But I mean, we are heavy-handed on juniors and sophomores and freshmen. Very little seniors on this roster, but a ton of experience. We have a freshman named Cole Elrod, who he actually hit our lone home run this past weekend. But I mean, every time he steps at the plate, something's just going to happen. He hits the ball hard, he puts the ball in play, strikes out very little, and that's what we're looking for these guys this year, is just very little strikeouts, and things are going to happen.
Absolutely. Well, hey, it's exciting to hear that you've got a loaded roster full of underclassmen. That could groom a program for a couple-year run of postseason activities. So we wish you the best as you get into your season. And
Thank you.
I also like that piece of hardware in the background that you're.
Yeah, I like
your
that
shot
backdrop.
there. That's you put some thought into your
Setup.
Your setup there, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
All right. Good stuff.
I just needed to put the banner next time.
There you go. There we go. All right. Well, we'll have to. You guys make a big run this spring. We'll get you back on. We'll get the banner in your background too. Sound good?
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. No
All right,
problem.
Connor. Take it easy, man.
Connor. All right.
Well, yeah, congrats to the Dukes. Great weekend. I believe they went 5-0, right, Jimmy? They
Yeah,
did
5-0.
Did not drop a game.
I don't know that they ever trailed in a game. They looked good all weekend, and then they handled Cal U in the rematch for the championship.
That's impressive, and they're going to need that. That Mid-Atlantic is that's a tough region, top to bottom. So it should be fun to watch when the time comes.
But it's an interesting region because it's a new format in that region where the top 2 teams in the East and the West both make the regional playoffs. So
Yep.
finishing top 2, that's the goal in the Mid-Atlantic.
Absolutely.
All
All
right.
right.
South, not East and West. North and South.
North and South. Yep, we know what you meant.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Those are the fall tournaments that just happened. Let's touch on the fall tournaments that are coming up here in a couple of weeks. First one on the docket, Wood Wars, November 3rd through the 5th. It's in Sterlington, Louisiana, Monroe, right outside there. 12-team event. Anybody who knows the NCBA knows Wood Wars. It's been around for probably 12th, 13th year now. Ryan Norris, hats off to him, Gulf Coast Regional Director, puts on a great event. Should be a great weekend. We see some new faces in that field. See a lot of the same old with the Texas schools, but should be a really exciting tournament. He'll have his Swing It Challenge as well. For the guys that have been down there, it's a really fun event that all teams they go out to, and it's kind of a skills challenge, if you will, with hitting. He's got all the cones out there and the lines and the points and everything. Everybody goes nuts. Music's playing. It's fun. But other than that, really competitive across the board. A lot of D1, D2 teams there. And should be some good baseball when the time comes. So that's Wood Wars.
Cool to see Parker going in their second season in the NCBA, and going to check out Wood Wars.
Yeah, good for them. They just made the jump up to D1 this year too. So should bring some nice challenges for them, and we'll see how they take it. So yeah, we're excited to have them there. It should be a good event in a couple weeks. And the other one is Greenville. Greenville Fall Invitational. This has got to be probably the 8th or 9th year for it. You see the field right there. It's an awesome facility, great stadium. It's got a couple fields there in the complex, but a 12-team event, Greenville, South Carolina, Conisty Park, November 3rd through the 5th, same exact weekend. But, yeah, a lot of the same old faces there, but you got some new teams. It should be a great event. Always is every year, and we're looking forward to it. A couple weeks away.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds like a good time. Talk to us a little bit about the fall season and how that's played out so far. Because, I mean, some of the areas, conference play already begins in those poor weather areas. How's that going?
Yeah, so D3, D2, D1, we have a lot of games going on. I think the big thing really is just to stay in tune with the websites. The schedule tab, the standings tab, you guys can see all the games that have happened, all the results. You can kind of see everything that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. That's really the biggest tool for you guys to utilize, is to really keep up to date with all the action going on. I can touch on the D1 side of things. One big thing I want to throw out there is University of Utah, brand new team. Took 1 of 3 against Utah State. I say 1 of 3. Well, first swing a game against a team who's been in the World Series the last 3 years is impressive in itself. But the other 2 games were extremely close. We're talking a brand new team thrown into Division I and taking down Utah State in one game. And everything I've heard from our regional director out there, Dave Stahl, along with the guys at Utah State, is Utah is legit. So we're excited for them. It's a great add to Division I, and again, brand new team. So hats off to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's exciting. Hopefully they'll come down to Swinging the Spring, Nevada.
Yeah, it's right there.
Show off what they can do. Let those California teams get to see them on the field.
Exactly. Promising future for the what are they? The Utes.
The Utes.
Okay.
Utah
I
Utes.
didn't want to just throw that out there without knowing, but that's D1. All right, Jimmy, you want to take D2 real quick?
Yeah, on the D2 front, lead it right off with Penn West, California, formerly Cal U,
Yeah.
PA. They're 8-0 overall already, just picking up right where they left off last year, and as well as we just spoke with them, the Charleston Fall Invitational. So Nick Arnone has a good program there, and they're off to a hot and running start this year. Also want to shout out Westchester. This is their second season in the NCBA. They are 3-0 in conference play and 6-0 overall. Last year, I'm sure Eric remembers, there was a long debate with a lot of us in the office on an at-large bid selection between them and one other team. So they were good last year in their first season, and it looks like they're
Want to control that destiny, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Picking up where they left off. And then lastly, we have MSOE, Division III World Series champions last year, bumped up to Division II. They're 6-0 in conference play. They have swept Wayne State and Illinois D2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Second team, not just, well, same organization, I guess, but they bumped up to add a second team into the NCBA.
Yes.
So I didn't say that very clearly, but you know what I meant.
That's an impressive crop of wins for a team that just moved from D3 to D2.
Yep.
The Illinois D2 makes the World Series on occasion. Wayne State goes down and owns Panama City
I think
Beach.
they're 10-0 in the last 2 years of PCB.
Right.
Own PCB
Yep.
when they go down there. Wow, that's impressive for MSOE. They're trying to get to D1 next year.
Yeah, they're going to have 3 teams.
Let's make it happen.
All right.
So, and then Division III, same idea. Just stay up to date with the website. We've had a lot of games going on, a lot of games on the schedule the next couple of weeks too. So, stay in tune with the website. It's the easiest way to do it.
All right, good stuff. Now you've got a big announcement, Eric, on the World Series front, don't you?
I do. Let's get that lovely graphic up there. So yeah, we're back. Division I and Division II. We're heading back to Alton, Illinois, Lloyd Hopkins Field. Jimmy, Sandy, please feel free to chime in when needed because you guys were there as well. But I had a great experience there for the Division I event. Everything from the support from the city to the support of the facility with Dallas Marts, with the general manager of the summer team there, to the accommodations with the hotel, to the sponsors. It was all great across the board. Great facility, too. It's all turf. They're used by the Alton River Dragons, a collegiate summer team out of the Prospect League. Really just great things to say about the facility. I know all of our teams that participate at the D1 level, and I'm sure the D2 level as well, had nothing but great things to say about it. And, we're excited to be back. And, D2 I know has even more news on top of that front.
We
so
do.
go ahead.
We do. We're excited to announce we've assigned a 2-year extension off of our previous contract, so we will be there through 2026.
Yep. So
26.
yeah, find a home for D2 out there. It's really been awesome, and I know it's really, you have to be there, I guess, to experience it, because once you're there, you really get to see the small town atmosphere of the support that everybody just has for the event and for the NCBA, and it's a great little downtown too, and lots of things to do right along the Mississippi River. You're 25 minutes out from St. Louis. It's a really cool riverboat casino there. A lot of things to do, a lot of things to see when you're not at the park. But the park itself is also fantastic. And, like I said, only good things to say about Alton, Illinois.
It definitely checked a lot of boxes, especially for, when we polled the teams. What are your priorities in a World Series venue and location? And they wanted, middle of the country.
Check.
It's equally accessible to everybody. Access to a major airport. We got a major airport 25 minutes away. We got a major town 25 minutes away. You can go see the Cardinals play. It really checked a lot of boxes. The playing surface was,
Can't get any better. Yep.
Yeah, perfect for the teams. The facility carried well, so the home run derby was fun too. Sometimes we get a park that's a little too big, balls don't fly out for derby. It checked a lot of boxes, so it's excited to be heading back there.
Yeah.
And for D2, heading back there for another 75 years. I can't even do the math.
Yeah, exactly.
However long you're there.
Yeah, lock it in. So.
And what was cool too is just the community. There were signs everywhere. Welcome NCBA, welcome the World Series, all this stuff. So we definitely felt right at home and welcomed. I'm just excited to keep going.
Yeah, the support is just something we haven't seen in a long time, and that's valuable to us. We want a city that wants us. We always say in the office, you take this event to Las Vegas or Chicago, we're just a blip on the radar. But in Alton, Illinois, they really value us, they really appreciate us, and that's priceless to us. So it's been a great event last year, and we look forward to really taking things even a step further this coming year. So.
And there's some planned renovations to the facility, aren't there? Somewhat because we've.
Yeah. So one of the big things that our events have really done for the city is give them the opportunity and I guess the confidence to reinvest into the facility. So, it's not official yet, so we don't want to say too much, but there's a lot of renovations on the table to, get the facility. There's buildings in place that, renderings that we've seen that really will take the facility to a next level, which is only going to really elevate our events, elevate the team's experience, our experience, everybody who's coming out. So, they've really gotten behind our events, and they always tell us they want to make Alton, Illinois the Omaha of the NCBA, and so far so good.
All right, good stuff. All right. Well, what else do we got on the baseball side now that we've announced the World Series venue for this year?
Yeah, the last two quick things I got notes on is housekeeping. League dues, all those invoices have been sent out. Division 3 will be coming out later this week, but D1 and D2, check your inboxes. Make sure you save that $100 by the end of the year. But those league dues are due in full by next February, so please keep that in mind. And lastly, Rawlings in the game. All you guys have to be wearing the game caps with the official NCBA caps through the game. Start that process now. If you guys are playing in the spring, contact Felicia right now. She's been around for many years. She has all your artwork files. She has everything to make the process turnkey for you guys. And if you order before November 30th, you save $2 a cap, which adds up. So get on that. And then Rawlings, 45% off discount through November 30th. Everything from uniforms to apparel to equipment to gloves to bats, literally everything. And keep in mind, Rawlings does own Easton now, so everything in the Easton line is now available to you guys as well. So get on that before the discount ends and, get ahead of the game here.
All right, good stuff. Well, thank you, Eric. Appreciate you joining us on set today and giving us a update on NCBA stuff.
All right, boys.
All right. What's next, Jimmy? What are we going to do next?
What is next? Sticking with this theme of baseball, and we'll add in a little bit of softball with Swing into Spring.
All right, our Swing in the Spring. Spring training showcase, right? Panama City Beach on the east side of that. We've got a graphic up here on how to register on the baseball side. Antonio Sacca is your guy to talk to about that. He can help you with creating a budget. A lot of teams, I think, oh, wow, that sounds like a really expensive trip. We have budget plans that comes down to like $400 a guy, covers your transportation, your room, and your baseball for a week of baseball at the beach in one of the places where you want to spend your spring break anyway. Lacey's the person to talk to on the softball side if your softball team's interested in learning more about it. If you have any interest at all, right, shoot them an email. Set up a phone call. Learn more about it. You're going to love it. That's why we get so many teams that come back every year, year after year. And even last year, week 3, we sold out. We were at capacity and had to turn people away. So we maxed out last year on the baseball side during week 3. We're anticipating that's going to happen again. We just closed up our early registration period. Teams got a discount to register by October 15th on the baseball side. I believe early registration still continues through November 1st on the softball side. In terms of teams already signed up, let's take a look at that graphic. We're up to 44 teams already signed on for baseball. You can see there week 3 is down to its last few openings. We can only accommodate 30 teams during a specific week, or we really can't deliver the product that we want to give you during the experience. Softball teams, we got a whole bunch of teams. Last year we had a record number of teams show up for this event, and the reports I'm getting is there's a whole pile of new ones. You can see the list there that have already expressed interest on, hey, how do we get involved in this? We saw Instagram posts, we saw Twitter posts about this last year. How can our softball team come down and enjoy that beach spring training baseball softball experience? Because my favorite part about this, when I did it when I was in college, is that first road trip, that first week away as a team. The seniors become friends with the freshmen. You kind of gel. You really develop as a team on that first long road trip where you're out of town playing ball, hanging out together. So definitely sign up, get your information in, and reach out to either Antonio or Lacey for more information so they can help you plan your trip. They can help with fundraising as well. So it's a great event. If you sign up, you'll probably be back the year after too.
Yeah, and going off of that, Sandy mentioning almost the cohesion factor of you go on that first long away trip, you get to know your teammates better, and it's just a team building experience. And like he's saying, once you get down there for once, try it out. We think you'll like it and want to come back.
Yeah, and it's a la carte, so you kind of get to design your own week. We want to play. Some teams come down want to play, have 2 practices and 8 games. Some teams come down want to have 1 practice and 3 games. It's a la carte. You pick what you want. Some teams will go, hey, we want a doubleheader Monday. We want Tuesday off to do the beach. We want one doubleheader Wednesday, Thursday off to go hang out, doubleheader Friday. Or other teams come down and say, hey, we want to play 2, 2, and 2, and then have the second half of the week just to do spring break stuff. You can kind of design your own experience there. So definitely worthwhile. So, all right. Well, that's going to cover it for Swinging the Spring this year. And there's also Swinging the Spring West Coast in Nevada with Alec Verhoff. He'll probably be, I know in a meeting last week, he just said he got his fields secured and his dates secured. So look for registration paperwork coming out for Swinging the Spring Henderson, Nevada, coming out soon. So, all right, without further ado, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a minute with some more Colt Club Sports updates.
The Game is the official headwear sponsor for Colt Club Sports. They offer our team's quality headwear, such as hats, visors, boonies, and beanies for a great low price. All items are customizable to meet our team's needs. Contact Felicia.Battaglia at ColtClubSports.com for all of your headwear needs.
Rawlings is the proud uniform, equipment, and ball sponsor of the National Club Baseball and Softball Associations. Teams receive up to 45% off on all their orders. For more information, including catalogs and price quotes, contact our front office today.
Another frustrating game day without officials. Don't let the lack of officials bench your game. Introducing Officials Unlimited, the game-saving solution. We bring expertise, precision, and integrity to every play, ensuring your game runs smoothly. Our officials are experienced. We offer streamlined scheduling solutions and a quality experience for all. Elevate your game with us. Officials Unlimited, elevating sports, raising standards. Visit officialsunlimited.com/schedule or call now 813-503-2197 to ensure your next game is a success.
All right, we're back. Welcoming to the set, VP of Softball Operations, Christian Smith.
VP of Christian.
VP of Christian Operations.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you want to. Former
Praise Jesus.
Former co-host of 301.
Yep. I don't know what happened there, but see the ratings are dipping as we speak. No, Jimmy's doing great. I think Jimmy's doing awesome.
Someone had the idea we should euthanize the set. Euthanize. That's not the right term.
I have no comment.
Maybe euthanizing the set would be a good thing. All right, let's get back to softball. Christian, what are we doing? Talk to me about the fall. What's going on in the fall softball?
Yeah, we are knee-deep in fall softball. A lot of great matchups happening thus far really early on in the season, and some big matchups coming up. So this past weekend we had the Invitational that was unfortunately rained out, where we didn't crown a champion, but a lot of great softball happened out at Indy despite the weather. We had 3 teams that I believe were in the same pool, but we're also World Series participating teams. Some big competitive matchups out there. Illinois taking down Grand Valley State 10-1. Illinois also took down Michigan State 8-0. And then Michigan State taking down Grand Valley State 19-5. So those 3 teams in the World Series last year played in a pool together. Illinois seemingly the top team, the top dog out of those 3. But again, some great matchups out there. We'll talk about it in a little bit in our top 20. But this past weekend, Clemson dropped 2 of 3 to South Carolina, which was a huge upset. South Carolina getting some respect in the polls. They didn't crack the top 20, but certainly got a lot of votes. But that was a big matchup. Virginia Tech, our former number one team in the country and back-to-back defending champions, they took 2 out of 3 from James Madison, but 3 really competitive games. So Virginia Tech, James Madison look to be picking up where they left off last year. This upcoming week, which I'm really excited about, we have an Armed Forces game. We have Air Force traveling to Navy to play a doubleheader. Air Force, the number 8 team in the country. Navy just outside the top 20. We also have Clemson going to Georgia, which is going to be a massive matchup. Hopefully looking Clemson to pick up, after a disappointing finish against South Carolina, hopefully rallying against Georgia. But I'm really excited to see that. Number 11 Clemson at number 9 Georgia. And a little background that I just found out, the former, and I want to make sure I get it right, the former Clemson president is now in grad school at Georgia. So
Playing on the team.
Yep, playing on the team. So
Inside knowledge.
it's should be exciting. Found that out whenever we were doing the registration paperwork, and she had some trying to log in with her Clemson email. So I found that out, which I thought was interesting, and the girls are really excited about watching that one. So
They could be banging trash cans in the dugout, tipping pitches.
yeah, maybe, who knows? And then last but not least, this upcoming weekend we have Sacred Heart, number 14 Sacred Heart, taking on number 10 UConn. So really, really exciting stuff coming up this upcoming weekend. Last game I want to touch on, Iowa, who is our number 1 team in our country. They've played their first series of the year. They took 2 out of 3 against Iowa State, so they did drop one. So a lot of parity in the NCSA, especially at the D1 level. So exciting stuff so far, and a lot of exciting games left to play. So,
All right. Well, let's look at those most recent top 20 polls or top rankings.
absolutely. On the Division I side, you see State Michigan also made some big jumps since the last polls, and then Ohio State's the new team to the party. So exciting stuff, and like I said, week 7 top 20 will be coming out not this Thursday but next.
Did I see Sacred Heart there getting a little first place love from someone?
Somebody out there gave them
Give them a first place vote, huh?
gave them a first place vote.
All right.
Maybe they know something others
Maybe.
don't, but yeah.
Might be coming back to this very show in 6 months. You're like, wow. Somebody believed in Sacred Heart back
knew
in
what they were
October.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Never
right,
know.
good stuff.
Never know. That's why we play.
That's right. Well, how about D2, right? D2, first season?
Yes.
And we got some rankings there, too.
Yeah, this is our second poll. The first poll was the preseason. We're doing these monthly. It's a top 10. This is the October poll. Northern Michigan, preseason top 10, number 1. They stay there. They're currently undefeated at 3-0 in conference, 5-0 overall. Excuse those max points available of 550. That should actually say 100. But, Saginaw Valley, they made a big jump into the number 2 spot. They are currently 5-1 overall. Had a big conference series win this past weekend. Stevenson, who's number 9, they got an undefeated season thus far. They're 5-0. Lockhaven, number 3 team that was not ranked in the preseason, has had a big start to their season. They're 5-1. And then Fairfield, who's at number 6, they're 3-0. They were also not ranked. So I think we talked about it last Sweet 301. This is really exciting for these teams because, with all due respect, without Division II, they would probably never see a time on the top 20. So this hopefully will give teams the extra motivation to to recruit, and it'll just be a team builder type thing where they can build off of it. So I'm really excited about these top 10 polls for Division II, and I hope teams that are listed on there are happy with it as well.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
And, talking about Division II, there's a little meeting going on this evening, right?
There's a big. I was going to be in my housekeeping items. We have a big Zoom postseason meeting, Zoom meeting tonight for all the Division II teams. From what Lacey, our director of Division II softball operations, is letting us know, is it's going to be really well attended. We're going to be talking about several postseason factors on getting feedback from the teams, the Division II teams, that how they want the postseason to be structured. How many teams do they want at regionals? How many teams do they want at the World Series? Where do they want the World Series? The World Series format. So those different types of things will be all discussed tonight, and come tomorrow morning we'll have a pretty good idea, if not a very good idea, of how D2 postseason will be happening in its inaugural year.
Outstanding stuff.
Yeah, really exciting. But other housekeeping items, we're in the period where there's not a ton going on. Most teams have their rosters in, which is great. Really happy with the teams getting that paperwork submitted and finalized. I think there's only a few teams out there that still owe rosters, so good on you guys for getting that in. And most notably, dues invoices came out, I was told today. So check your inbox. If you got an invoice from QuickBooks, Intuit by QuickBooks, that's going to be your dues invoice. And take advantage of that $100 discount if you pay that before the end of December, if your team is eligible. Take advantage of that $100 discount. Use it as a $100 fundraiser, so to speak. So look out for that in your inbox. But other than that, not much happening.
All right, sounds good. Well, Christian, we appreciate your update on the softball side of things, NCSA update. Good things going. Excited
Yes,
to hear
sir.
Division II's heading in the right direction in its inaugural season. All right, so next we're going to get into a little bit of basketball updates.
So you're going to welcome in Matt Hazy.
Matt Hazy.
He's a little late. Bear with us.
It's okay. There he is. There he is.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, Matthew?
Good. How is everybody?
Oh, I'm stuck. Swell.
Good.
Swell. Doing swell.
Good to hear that.
Yeah. New teams. Let's get right into some new teams, because my email keeps blowing up with, hey, we got a club basketball team. How do we get in? How do we get in? How do we get in?
Yeah.
Talk to us through the new team process.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the guy you want to speak to there. So I'm copied on all those emails, obviously. So if you are interested, I'll be able to reach out to you, set up a call with you. We can get that process started. But as far as new teams who have joined on since last episode, as you can see there on the screen, we have Duke in that South Atlantic East, who has come on, Fordham in that Mid-Atlantic North. We were actually able to get Florida, Miami, and Nova Southeastern to join Florida State down in the South Atlantic South. Youngstown State, who got voted into that North Atlantic South, and then St. John Fisher actually just got voted into the North Atlantic West as well. So that brings us up to 28 new teams total for this season. Still working on a few that are in the pipeline, so there are a few more to come still as well.
Man's work is never done. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
That's exciting to see that much growth and it continuing to grow. Like, because, we're season starts November 1.
Yeah.
We're, 2 weeks away from
Yep.
tip-off, right?
Yep.
And speaking of tip-off, great segue, right? Our fall tournament, the Happy Valley Tip-Off. Why don't you give us an update on how that's playing out?
Yeah, so 2 weeks from this Friday, we have our 4th annual Happy Valley Tip-Off going on at the Nittany Valley Sports Center up in State College, Pennsylvania again. For the men's side of things, we have 20 total teams this year, so we have 5 pools instead of 4. A lot of good matchups, stuff to come, a lot of former teams from last year who are joining, so I'm really excited to see how these teams have upgraded and since graduation and new players and all that stuff. So I'm excited to see some of those teams play, and we actually have some new teams coming up. So excited to meet them and watch them play as well. So
Outstanding stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else do we got? We got tip-off in 2 weeks. What other housekeeping items should the men's teams be focused on right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the time of year where performance bonds have been out. So if you owe a performance bond, that invoice should be in your inboxes. So that deadline is actually passed. It was this Sunday, October 15th. So if you haven't, make sure you get that in as soon as you possibly can. If you need that resent, please let me know. We can have those invoices resent to you. Also, rosters, if you have week 1 games, Working on those rosters, making sure you're getting those in even week 2. The sooner the better there. And then also your basketballs. If you haven't taken that survey that's been sent out to you, please take that survey to get your Rawlings basketballs for the season. You need those. Those are the legal game ball for this year. So please make sure you're taking that survey as well if you haven't already.
All right, good stuff. All right, well, thank you for all the men's basketball updates. We appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to hear all the details about how the Happy Valley tip-off went when we meet up next month at Suite 301.
Yes.
Suite 301. Yes. It's the right term, right?
What's
next?
Term.
What's next?
What is next? We will go to Alec Verhoff to talk about some NCBBAW women's to take us home.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good. Every time we see you, you're in like a different location in your house.
Yeah, I know. The office is going under some renovation right now, so I'm kind of just secluded to the living room right now.
Okay. Sure. You're just sitting on the couch, huh? Feet up. Eat some
no, it's just
chips, watch it play.
This is a
baseball.
recliner, not a couch.
Oh, okay. Even better. All right. So, Bubby, Alec, excuse me. Women's basketball, new teams. Take us through what's going on in that side of things for the women's league.
Yeah, absolutely. Since last show, we have 2 new teams on board, both out west. We had Cal Poly join our Pacific North Conference, and UC Irvine has joined the Pacific South, which we are still working on forming. So very excited, both of those teams. Expanding out west was a big point of emphasis. So, those are 2 very welcome additions. They are new teams. I believe it's 16 and 17 on the season. So, that's considerably more than last season. So, very happy with how we've done on new teams so far.
Outstanding. More in the pipeline coming, you believe?
Yeah, we definitely have a few more in the pipeline.
Outstanding.
Very nice. Well, talk to us about the Happy Valley fall tip-off from the women's side of things.
Yeah, a little smaller than the men's side, but we have 4 good teams that are going to be there. As you can see, we have Ohio State, Penn State, Cortland, and Grand Valley State. And now the cool thing about that is 3 of those teams were at our national championship tournament last year, and Cortland was at it the year before. So, every matchup that you see in that tournament is going to be a good one. They're all playoff teams from the last 2 years. So I think that's going to be a really fun, really competitive tournament.
Outstanding. And what do we got working on for the housekeeping for the women's basketball teams that they should be focused on with, the season tip-off just 2 weeks away?
Pretty much same things that Matt mentioned. Performance bonds, like he said, those were actually due a couple days ago. So if you haven't gotten that paid yet, please get that paid as soon as possible. If you need that resent, let me know. I get that taken care of for you. Also, team previews, those are also due. I believe next Mondays, whenever the women's are due. So get those in as soon as possible. It's a great opportunity for your team to get some recognition and for you to kind of just talk them up to us. Those surveys, equipment surveys, get those taken care of so you can get your basketballs. You do need to use an NCBBA official basketball for league games, so please get that taken care of as soon as possible. And last but not least, academic letters, rosters, getting all that stuff taken care of. I believe every team has at least one conference matchup in the fall, if not more, so you need those rosters taken care of before then. I know we're still a couple weeks away from week 1, but it's better to get that taken care of sooner than later.
It'll come quick.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Alec. Well, we appreciate the update and look forward to you. And best of luck in the process of getting the season underway. Just literally weeks away.
Yes.
2 weeks away. All right.
Thanks,
well,
guys.
That's going to wrap up this episode of Suite 301 for the month. We appreciate you tuning in, and make sure you tune in to our social media accounts to follow up with additional information.
And next episode will be November 21st at 3:01 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Facebook Live. Join us then to catch up on everything that's happening around Call Club Sports.
And don't forget, it's a game.
So have fun.